In this how-to video, I will demonstrate how to create a single or multiple stop-starts for a residential customer and different ways in which you can perform a stop and start. We'll begin by going into the residential customers details section. One of the first ways you can stop a customer supply is by simply selecting the single supply and entering a stop date, followed by a stop request. So this is who requested the stop, and then a reason for the cancellation. It is important to record the stop requested and cancel reason, as it will assist later on in the event that you need to produce a file that contains various stop reasons so that the publisher can conduct various campaigns based on customers' cancellation reasons. So this is one of the first ways that you can stop a single supply line. One of the way that you can start a single publication is by, in the future matrix, simply selecting the publication code and the relevant start date. Then obviously there's no stop date. Show again is for businesses that use manual runbooks, where the start transaction needs to show up a second time, usually as a reminder to add them to a Saturday or Sunday runbook. This is not required for electronic runbooks. Across the note section here, this is a note that will appear on the start report. And then if required, you can add the subscription ID and billing method if this was a manual entry done on behalf of the publisher. This is one example of how a single stop and single start transaction can be done. I will simply reset these fields to demonstrate the next sample. Next, I will demonstrate how you do a stop-start for all publications. This is usually the most often scenario where a customer will provide you a date that they want to stop and then a later date that they want to restart, usually because they're going away on holiday. We have the stop-start button here in the middle of the two matrices, and we will click that. All you do here is you simply select the stop date. This is the date the delivery stops on, and then the date the customer will return. If there is no restart date, it is all okay to leave that blank, and it will simply stop all their supplies with no restart. Again, the stop request, who requested the stop to be put in the system, and then the reason for cancellation. This one I'll select on holiday, temporary stop. Then you need to select the publication or the supply lines that you want to participate in this stop-start function that you're performing. So you can either have one or all of them participate. And then you simply press the submit button. The net result of this will be you have a stop date generated for each of the supply lines, which would be on the next delivery day. Then you would have the request being entered for you and the cancellation reason, and you would have had new supply lines created for you with the start dates. One thing to note is if you performed a stop-start on a supply line that belongs to a publisher, one that usually has a subscription ID attached to it, it is important to note that the system will automatically move the subscription ID from the active supply to the future supply, as you cannot have duplicate subscriptions in your system. The other reason why the system will automatically move your subscription ID is to ensure that the publisher can make future stop and modifications to that supply when it is required in the future. So that's just a side note. In the event that this customer gave you a second period of stop-starts, that cannot be performed using the stop-start button. You would need to, from this point, manually add the extra stop dates. And the reasons. So in this example, the customer has provided you a double holiday period, which needs to be entered into your system so that you don't forget later on. So you've added the stops in for their second holiday period, and now you simply need to create the starts for their when they return from that second holiday period. And you can simply continue this process indefinitely. As you notice, when I clicked on the background in the orange, it went and forced saved the record, and it has placed them in date order. That concludes this how-to video.